called Bull is one of the two boxers on whom you'll need to fully improvise almost the entire strategy. However, there are some guidelines that will help you on the way. All you need to know is the what and the how. First, let's deal with what he does. Then I'll show you how to defend against it. For the first 20 seconds, he'll throw jabs. These are colloquially known as rolling jabs because of the way he rolls his fists over one another before punching. These are simple to counter, and they're also the only thing you'll see in Phase 1. From here, he'll follow the same pattern until the bull charge, and you'll never get that far. So all you need to do is predict his movements until the TKO. He'll mix it up a little bit, but not so much that you won't know what's coming next. He'll throw 3 distinct patterns: a series of right hooks, a series of rolling jabs, and a series of right uppercuts. First of all, Bull will always begin with the hooks, and he'll always come back to them. Meaning he'll throw hooks, then go to the rolling jabs, then back to the hooks, then the rolling jabs again, then back to the hooks, then to the uppercuts, then back to the hooks, and so on. Everything revolves around the hooks, and he'll throw at least 2, but no more than 3. And here's how the pattern unfolds until the charge at 2 minutes. If he throws 2 hooks and hesitates, he's headed for the rolling jabs. And if he throws 3 hooks, then he's going into the uppercuts. After either the jabs or the uppercuts, he'll end up right back at the hooks again. Now you'll never know ahead of time if he'll unload 2 or 3 hooks, so you just need to be prepared for either. When it feels like he's hesitating, you'll know it, and you can warm up for the rolling jabs. As for the rolling jabs, these are easy, much like the rolling jabs at the beginning of the fight. He'll always punch 3 times. No more, no less. Always 3. After the jabs, it's back to the hooks again. On the flip side, if he does unleash the 3rd hook, he'll go right into the uppercuts. And here's where it can be trouble, because you won't have any idea how many he's going to throw. Could be 1, could be 2, could be 5. But at least you can be sure of one thing. After he's done playing around with uppercuts, he'll go right back into his hooks. So in a nutshell, 2 hooks leads to 3 rolling jabs, then back to some more hooks. 3 hooks and he goes into an uncertain amount of uppercuts, and then back to the hooks. Now into the how. First of all, like Tiger, don't even think about touching the A button for this fight. The right is either too slow, or it won't even work at all. As for countering his punches, the easiest one to deal with is the rolling jabs. You can always intercept his jabs with one of your own, and this will often get you a star. There's no difference between the rolling jabs for the first 20 seconds and the series of 3 he'll throw later. You'll never defend yourself any different against these. Always throw jabs before he finishes rolling his fists. I'll get into the first 20 seconds specifically in a bit, but against the 3 rolling punches, as soon as you see the first one coming, simply give him 3 confident left jabs. Don't stop for anything. This is the easiest part of the pattern to conquer. Next, let's look at his hooks. You can do one of 2 things. Either throw a left jab to intercept it, or dodge and throw an unstunned uppercut. It's important to note that he'll almost certainly dodge a stunned uppercut, so be quick and make sure you don't jab him first. And finally, his uppercut. I'll show you a couple of techniques against these, but there isn't really a great way to deal with them. The best you can hope for is he doesn't go into them, but he will. Hopefully by the end of this video, you'll be ready for them. So let's begin. In Phase 1, pound away during his rolling jabs for stars and use them for knockdown number 1. You won't get him down later than 20 seconds, and you might get him at 19. And at the end of it, you'll either have 1 or 2 stars. In Phases 2 and 3, you're going to counter each of Bull's attacks the best you can to get him down as fast as possible. I know that sounds like a cop-out, but there really is no 100% strategy for any specific time. The ball is in his court. But you'll never be stuck in a situation not knowing what's going to come next, and if all of his moves are properly countered, you should never expect a TKO later than 130, and that's way before the 2-minute bull charge. There's a good chance you'll get him around 115 or so. He begins the fight with rolling jabs in sets of 2. Remember, you can nail him with your own jab to stop his, so start off with 2 jabs as soon as you see the roll. The second jab will give you a star. Then wait a second for him to move against you again. Cut off the next 2 with 2 more jabs. The first might give you a star, and the second will. So by the end of this, you'll either have 2 or 3 stars. From here, deliver an uppercut which will catch him when he starts the 3rd set, and when you drop, jab to interrupt his second punch. Repeat this a couple of times, alternating between uppercuts and jabs, and he'll go down. Not to sound condescending, but I want to cover that again in case you're scratching your head. Wait for the first rolling jab and toss 2 left face shots. Then watch his fist for another roll and give him 2 more. Then instantly uppercut, jab, and uppercut. When he returns, be ready for his hooks. Notice that you'll either start with 1 or 2 stars, and you'll use them now. For a relatively fast time, dodge his hook and make use of a star when you have one. Remember not to stun him first, as he has a tendency to dodge. Or just bust his face against his hook to get a star if you don't have one saved. And just repeat that until he pulls out of his hooks. With a star, dodge an uppercut. Without, left jab intercept the hook. Now let's move on to the rolling jabs, because they're the easiest to deal with. Remember, he'll head here if he lets off 2 hooks and hesitates. Now watch his gloves. When they start to roll, punch him 3 times. You should even get some stars out of it, but the primary goal is to get him back to the hook so you can uppercut some more. And after 3 shots, the rolling jabs are over. And finally, if he goes in the other direction towards the uppercuts after 3 hooks, well, there are some things you can do. The problem, as I said, is you don't know how many he's going to throw. It might only be 1, but he also might give them until he goes down. His uppercuts are fast, so if you try and let loose one of your own, he might just blow you out of the sky. An uppercut counter here is about the most dangerous move in the game, but if you're quick enough, it can lead to a very fast time. Tuck that away for when you want to experiment later. The safest path is to just dodge and let him cycle through his uppercuts. Then he'll go back to the hooks. This looks dumb, but it works. Another counter is 7 face jabs. This can lead to a pretty fast time in phase 2, and it's probably the easiest method you can use. Last, the most difficult technique, is a 1+1 delayed punch, which is most effective if he was planning on giving only 1 uppercut. But you could find yourself punching right into his next uppercut, and boy will your face be red if that happens. But it's up to you. The pattern I'll be focusing on is the 7 punch counter, because it is the easiest. But you can also just keep dodging until he's finished, give him a 1+1 delayed punch in which Bull will surrender a star, or you can even hurl an unstunned uppercut if you have the guts. In any case, as usual, he's back to the hooks. I know I'm making it sound difficult, but trust me, it's not. With all the uppercuts you'll be giving him, there really isn't much time for him to be complicated. Now, you want to see it happen, don't you? Of course you do. At the beginning of phase 2, you can slip in a gutter. This will put you up to 2 or 3 stars. Now make no mistake, This gutter is harder to pull off than Goldilocks on Don. But it won't really take that much time away if you miss, so it can be worth trying. As soon as he returns, tap up and throw a body blow. Then he'll begin his hooks. If you're lucky, you'll have 3 stars, and if you're even luckier, he'll throw 3 hooks. Counter each hook with an unstunned uppercut. With just a little health remaining, give him a couple jabs after his uppercut and he'll go down as fast as 43 seconds. Implementing this gutter punch can lead to a TKO pushing the 1 minute mark, but it requires those very specific things to happen. You need to collect 3 stars, and he needs to throw 3 hooks.